Hello and welcome, my friends, to the Peculiar Paradigm Storytelling Podcast, where youth determined to make the world a better place bring attention to issues that stop our society's progress from providing various perspectives through story. This story, The Knife, written by Ella Mishra, April J. Ham, and Daisaku Edwards, is a series that presents the injustice of the youth criminal justice system and its abusive rather than rehabilitative methods. The Knife is a thrilling and tragic story that follows the unfortunate journey of several teens through the juvenile justice system, how and why they end up within the system, how they survive in it, and how it changes them as people, for better or worse. Finally, if you're interested in supporting our efforts towards criminal justice reform, lovingly tap that like button and subscribe. It helps us immensely. Now, without further ado, grab some refreshments and get comfortable because our story is about to be told.
The morning air was as cruel as ever. The cold that had first bit my toes had now crept into my stomach. I let out a puff of air and watched it turn to steam and fascination. I would cover myself in a blanket, but Mom hates it when I get paint on anything but the canvas. Better to freeze than face the wrath of Mother Dearest. I dip my brush into the black paint and think for a moment of what I might try to create. But instead of ideas, I find myself staring deeply into the inky black inside the can. I blank out as thoughts darker than black swarm my head. I look around my room searching for inspiration. Everything is painfully tidy. From the neatly made twin-size bed in the center of the room to the wooden desk beneath the window. I put the paintbrush down and really scan the room once more. The bare beige-colored walls seem to look back at me with the same question. Got anything interesting for us? I swore under my breath. Well, that was useless. I picked up the paintbrush, hoping the weight of the paint on the brush would spark something. Still, nothing came to me. I stepped back from the paints, careful not to spill a single drop, and sigh. Let's start with the base coat. I take the black coated paintbrush and make large strokes on the black canvas. The morning light kinda makes it gray at some angles. I guess that's fine. It won't matter too much anyways. At first I move the brush slowly, side to side, up and down. Not quite sure of what I would be painting, each stroke makes my chest tighten. It felt wrong. Like I shouldn't be doing this, like it was a waste of time. My heartbeat grows louder and louder until suddenly, as if to confirm my feelings, the voices begin ringing in my head.
You have the audacity to sit here and paint comfortably while your grades are in the trash.
Well, as soon as you turn 18, you can paint all day. In the street.
You suck at everything. Even the thing you sit around and do for hours. I mean, imagine working so hard every day and still being downright awful at it. How humiliating.
A burning sensation pierces my chest and makes its way into my eyes. I clench my teeth, ignoring the stream of tears running down my face. I hate them. What right do those idiots have to comment on my life? I attack the canvas. My strokes move faster now, moving the brush clockwise, then counterclockwise. I feel the shame crawling into every inch of my mind and infecting my body. I hate that they're right. I press the black paint in firmly with each stroke, ignoring the ticking of my mental alarm clock. The canopy of voices leave me for a moment of delectable silence, but then come back almost immediately. This time, they bring their buddy pain. Trying my hardest to smother the words in paint, I assault the canvas even more intensely. The pattern of each stroke now erratic, my wrist flicking violently like an orchestrator swinging their contact stick in the air, nearing a crescendo. Still not focused on the desired outcome of my painting, my attention was only on the motion of the brush in my hand. The words in my head faintly gone. The only audible sound now was my brush on the canvas. I start to come back to myself, holding the brush still on the canvas. I open my eyes to behold my creation. A sea of endless black swirls, and in the center, a solitary dot of untouched canvas. The dot is so small amongst a sea of thick and inky black paint. How can it still be there? How can it resist the will of the paint to be consumed and overwhelmed while alone and surrounded on all sides? Before I can flesh out all the nuances, I hear banging on my bedroom door.
Leiah, what are you doing? It's 7:50. You're gonna be late to school.
Sorry, I'm getting dressed still. I'll be out soon. I scramble to put away my paints and canvas as quietly as possible. Please don't come in. They can't know the reason I'm late is because I was painting. I started painting at like 6 though. How did I let the time fly by me like that? The paints I put under my bed and the painting I leaned in the wall of my closet. I plunge my hands covered in black on the first set of clothes I see, trying to scrub away the paint without leaving a noticeable trace. I quickly slip into my khakis and comfy sweater my cousin Crocs got me. It's fuzzy, comfortably loose, and checkered with black and white squares. Crocs, my cousin, is the only person left in my life that doesn't judge me or try to make me something I'm not. Grabbing my backpack, I take one look around my room to make sure there are no traces of my painting, but before I get a good look,
Leiah, open this door. We need to head out now.
quickly I snap open my door, present myself to my parents with an obviously manufactured smile. Sorry, I woke up late. It won't happen again, so could you please stop yelling? I say cheekily.
Don't sass me, alright? I would not have to tell you if you were up and ready to go on time.
Dad did always have a way of avoiding admitting when he was wrong. My bad. Can we go now, though? He shot me a glare full of daggers before shaking his head and grabbing the keys. I watched as him and my mother storm out of the house, clearly plotting their next lecture strategy. Gotta love being the family favorite. I sighed and sent a quick prayer to God that maybe he'd have mercy on me today and let the car crash for once.
Leiah, get in the car. We're already
My
late.
mother yelled from the passenger seat. I nodded my head and hurried. Wouldn't want to have her burst another blood vessel. Think of the stains on the leather seats, Leiah. The morning was starting to warm up. The dewy wet grass slicked my shoes as I dashed across the lawn and slipped into our silver 2008 Corolla. I buckled in and waited for the 2 minutes of courtesy silence to...
Leiah, my love, I think it's time we talked about your recent attitude.
There it goes. Mother looked to Dad first for reassurance, then at me with that learned look of false hope painted on her face. Really betting on that car crash, God. Dad jumped in to tag team.
Well, you see, Leiah, you're starting to act. Well, we know you're at that age where. You're misbehaving, is the point.
So, what you're saying is my attitude is annoying you and I can't be me. I shot a glare at my mom. My mother decided to keep the conversation going and slowly responded,
Leiah, that is not how you speak to us. I demand respect. Your father and I feel like we're not being appreciated.
To this line, which was used often, I thought, oh well, that's because you aren't being appreciated. Maybe if you tried to say something nice once in a while, you'd get a better attitude. I chose not to answer, so the rest of the car ride was dead silence. Sadly, God decided to have no mercy and didn't let a tree simply fall and hit the car. The awkward silence and palpable tension within the car made the last few moments on the way to school feel like an eternity. Eventually, we arrived at the other place that crushes my soul on a daily basis. My school, Oblivion High School.
Unfortunately, that is where we will be concluding this episode. If you enjoyed what you listened to today, or you just want to support our work, click that like button and, of course, subscribe with the bell notifications on. And for bonus content, follow us on Instagram at Project Vatu. And if you're curious and want to see where this story goes next, come back next week, the same time. We'll be waiting.